Good? Okay. First off, there's a few things. We're going to talk about strap versus punch, okay? When you have a punch shield, there's a couple different ways you can use it. There's not a wrong way, okay? There's different right ways. When I use a punch shield, I'll show you left-handed because that's natural. I will crank it up to my shoulder here and use it like this, okay? So, an advantage of this just in general for defense is if I hold it at the seam like this, it makes my legs look closer than they are. And if I have it at an angle like this, it makes it a lot harder for him to throw any kind of drop shot and actually hit me. He has to throw a wrap shot to get the shot on it. So it's what we call a static defense. Static defense is any time where you're just holding still and it has defense involved. That's a style punch shield. The other style is holding it way out here. And this is really good, especially fighting against a red-handed fight, a red sword. Because the red sword is going to try and break your shield, so this allows you to drop your shield back and then step in after he swung, because you have to reset when you use a red sword most of the time. So those are some basic things. When you're fighting with a punch shield and you're talking about aggressive shield tactics, this is as much a weapon as this is. This is the thing that legally has to hit them to kill them, but this can get around somebody else's shield. The vast majority of the time that we're talking about aggressive shield tactics, we're talking about fighting another shield fighter, which is kind of the cream of the crop of our sport. So, if you're fighting a same-handed fighter, right on right, anytime that you use this, you can manipulate their shield. You have to be aware at the same time that they can manipulate your shield, and especially if they have a strap shield, as he has. A strap shield has a lot more strength involved. It's cord most of the time, so it's going to be heavier, more momentum behind it, and he has his entire arm already built in. Whereas once you're in a situation where you're trying to shield work with him and push him around, you're breaking your wrist. It's not your whole arm behind the strike, it's just the shield in your hand. So you really need to either A, make a whole movement with it where you're using your entire arm like you would an entire arm swing, or be aware that as soon as you start to push on him, he's going to push back on you and probably have the advantage. So it needs to be a quick kind of motion. Are they feasting right here? Yeah. So. All right, everyone go about 5 feet that way.